trumped by any of his 4-drop creatures, like a Hell Rider or a Falcon Rider.
Yep.
And once that happens, Sean, I think, is just going to be too far behind.
Yep.
You know, if Sean only has one creature in play, by the time Will's able to cast his 4-drop, it's going to be pretty rough for Sean to try to come back from that.
This is one matchup where role assessment is certainly key. An article by your favorite player, Mike Flores. Who's the beatdown?
Who's the beatdown?
You know, who is going to be the attacking deck? Who's going to be the control deck in this matchup? I think that for Sean, he needs to. You know, we've seen him on camera. He's been very, very aggressive when he plays, which there's certainly a time and a place for that. I think this is not it.
No, especially game 1.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on the draw, you got to sort of pick your spots. And you know, all weekend we've been seeing that people have difficulty trying to figure out, you know, what is my deck supposed to be doing now? You know, do I shift my plan? Do I change my strategy? And that's very important because it's going to affect your decision making, and one wrong decision could slowly chip away at your probability of success. So I think Sean's going to have to. And Blackbird Zombies is a very popular deck, so I'm sure Sean has played against it before. I'm sure he knows how it plays out. So I'm not surprised that I wouldn't be surprised if he knew exactly how to play this matchup.
As we do see both players taking a look at their hand here, Sean has kept his 7. Will has taken a mulligan to 6. He's found a happy 6. We're underway here in the finals as we have a Diregraph Ghoul.
So, solid start. Do we have a 1-drop from Sean? Looks like, looks like we got a champion.
Okay.
So, not bad. Do we have a Knight of Infamy from Will?
Now that's the big question here.
No, we do not.
Well, we do have Diregraph Ghoul attacking, and now the question is at least the second land?
At least the second land.
All right, it's a Blood Crypt coming to play. Maybe 2 1-drops.
Maybe a Searing Spear here. See if he can bait Sean into playing a Rancor. Probably see a Thalia here.
And we're going to see Thalia be placed onto the stack.
We're going to see a response with it, a Searing Spear.
It's a good question. There is your Searing Spear.
Yeah, he might have been thinking maybe I just want to use it on my main phase to kill the Thalia so my Diregraph Ghoul can still attack. If he doesn't have a 3-drop, I think that's a reasonable play. But if he has a Gravecrawler, a Jarl's Messenger, then... But again, you can see how that Thalia can hold back both those creatures. So, still a really good card for Sean.
Sean does take a draw step, draws a force. You see Borderland Ranger, Rootbound Crag among the other cards that are in his hand right now. Thalia doing a nice job of gumming up the ground.
He drew a Celestial Charm too, so pretty good draw in case, because like we said, the flyers from Will's deck are really what's gonna close it out for him. So he has at least an answer to Thunderbolt now.
Yep. We're going to see a Borderland Ranger here. Sean's mana already pretty good, but he's just going to fix a little bit more.
Yeah, it's good. He's gumming up the ground a little bit, making sure he hits his land drops, trying to get the Huntmaster, Restoration Angel. Again, this is always the problem with zombies, is that when sometimes you're putting a lot of pressure on your flyers.
Yep.
And if you don't draw your Aristocrat, if you don't draw your Thundermaw Hellkite, the deck doesn't look very good. So interesting to see. It's going to be a big turn for Will right here. If he doesn't have a Hell Rider or a Falcon Rider Aristocrat, I'd say that he might be giving a little too much away, and Sean might be pulling away from this game a little bit. But this is going to be a critical turn for Will right here.
You see Sean's he's going to attack. Okay.
Wow, that's I'm surprised by that attack, because if Will does have a Hell Rider, it's much better now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay before, but okay, so he does have the Aristocrat, so now that's the perfect scenario for him.
So he's going to come across here with all 3 of his guys, the Messenger, the Diregraph Ghoul, and the Aristocrat. Very good mulligan to 6. 4th land on time, not a Rakdos Guildgate, thankfully for him. And he is coming across here with a huge attack. I think the Borderland Ranger does have to step in the way of something here.
Yeah, it's probably going to block the Diregraph Ghoul. But again, you talked about this before the match. Is Sean going to know when to be the aggressor and when to be the defensive player? And by attacking with that Thalia, he basically gave up an extra 3 points of damage because there's no way Will attacks with both.
Yeah.
He's just gonna have to give up the Falcon Wrath hit, and that's it. But now it draws a Huntmaster, which is just good. But again, it just shows you how important Falcon Wrath Aristocrat is in this matchup.
Flying is certainly key. It's something that Sean's deck is weak to, and that Selesnya Charm that you spoke of, it does do a nice job against Thermal Hellkite, but Falcon Wrath Aristocrat being a 4/1, and the only way to make it larger is by sacrificing Knight of Infamy in Will's deck. If he avoids doing that Selesnya Charm is just going to basically be turned off the entire game. As you do see Huntmaster of the Fells join the party, going to bring Sean up to 11 and give him a wolf token. Let's see if he does slow down a little bit here.
Yeah, I think he just might have domed.
Yeah, on the end step, he sacrificed the Messenger, made it a 4/3 because of Undying, just to bring Sean from 11 down to 9.
It's also, he might have wanted to just attack with both this turn.
That's what you're going to see.
Forcing Sean to double block.
Yep, and that's exactly what you're going to see here.
Which is actually great because I think you might want to just double block here, and because if Will doesn't have another play, you can theoretically flip your Huntmaster and kill the Aristocrat. So I think you might want to just take a chance here.
I think we are taking a chance here. Yep.
Yeah. So I think Will's going to regret this play because he's basically going to lose his Aristocrat.
You see a little bit of frustration in his face right now, too.
I mean, you only have one card in your hand. It's not a spell. You can't take a risk here that you're going to lose your Aristocrat because it's your only chance of winning.
Oh, boy. He is actually going to lose the Aristocrat here.
He misses the trigger?
Does he miss the trigger?
He missed the trigger.
No.
Wow. Unbelievable. So I think, is he gonna just is he gonna pass to try to do it on the, wow. That
so
was
he's still gonna get it.
Still
okay.
Kills the Aristocrat,
all right.
but it would have been a lot better if he was able to attack for 4 and cast several spells. But doesn't really matter. Still the same result. Kills the Aristocrat, which is what's important here.
And now he has another Aristocrat.
Yeah, that's... See, now this is where the mistake cost him.
Yes.
Because it's going to take him a turn to reflip it. He would have been able to reflip it. Yeah, he would have been able to reflip the Huntmaster last turn, I believe, because he has a Rancor and a Huntmaster, or a Borderland Ranger, so he would have been able to reflip his Huntmaster this turn. Then he could have passed back and killed the Falcon Wrath Aristocrat on Will's turn again. Won't be able to do that this time around. He could reflip it, gain 2 life. Looks like Will named Feldergriff with his Cavern of Souls.
A huge impact in the game.
Huge impact.
Uncounterable.
Leave the jokes to us, buddy.
Yeah. You see a Rancor here.
Selesnya Charm.
Oh,
Here
baby. How do we go from not flipping the Huntmaster to seeing this line?
Yeah.
Something we didn't even see.
Yeah.
So now we have Rancor targeting Falcon Aristocrat, and Will says, okay, all right, Selesnya Charm.
Yeah. Misses a trigger and suddenly turns into MacGyver.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed? All right, well, here we go. Let's. Will's back in it. Shaw's back in the game.
And so now you're going to see, I think we're going to see that Rancor here, yep. And now he's going to come across for 6. So this attack is risky.
Yeah.
But it's going to see him come across for 6. You're going to see Ravager flip back into Huntmaster now. He's going to go up to 3. He's going to get a 2/2. So if Hellrider is the card that's drawn, he's safe.
Safe against Hellrider. Not safe against Thundermaw.
Yeah, dead to Dragon.
Which is why I don't like that Celestia, which I would have preferred to just kill Falcon Wrath the old-fashioned way, but he has to do what he has to do.
Yep.
A little exposed to Thundermaw still, but he's putting a lot of pressure on Will, and I think
okay, Pillar of Flame.
So that's good.
Okay. Now taking a look at Will's his outs right now, so to speak. He has 3 Searing Spears left in his deck. He has 3 copies of Hellrider, 3 Mile Hellkite, 2 Falkenrath Aristocrats left. Just as far as haste creatures, Dross Messenger can also chip away a little bit, but he is at 8 life. There is a Rancor back in Sean's hand, so he's basically on, I think maybe, depending on how Sean plays it, I think Will's going to get 1 more draw step.
Yeah, Will's going to get 1 more draw step at least. And you listed his outs. He's got plenty of outs. Sean's going to play 2 creatures out here, and he's definitely going to be threatening lethal next turn.
So you see that attack for 4 because of the Rancor, putting Will on a 1-turn clock. You're going to see Evanson's Pilgrim certainly going to slam down that Borderland Ranger. He's done a nice job of coming up the ground. We're going to have to go to the skies here. Hellrider no longer an out. 2 Falkenrath Aristocrats, 3 Thunderbolt Hellkites, and 3 Searing Spears.
Top decker, no!
And there
it is.
That's a Blood Crypt. Not going to do it.
Sean pulls out game 1, which is great for him because now he's going to at least get 1 more game on the play, regardless of this outcome of the second game.
Stealing the game when he's on the draw. A
breaking
big deal.
Serve.
Yes.
Breaking serve, as they say. So
a very, very big deal there for Sean. We're going to come back to the booth very, very quickly for you guys because it's time to give away a year of premium. Of course, the way to participate in this very quickly for you, I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to be very easy. You're going to go on Twitter. You're going to answer the question and put the hashtag of SCG Premium. We'll draw from one of the people who does get it correct. And if you don't, come on. Really, you don't get it right. Come on.
They're softballs.
Yeah.
We want you to be members.
We want you to enjoy above the curve. That's what we want, okay? So the question very quickly for you guys. In Will Craddock's deck list, his very stock Zombies deck list, in this deck you're going to find, you find your Pillar of Flame, you find your Searing Spears, and there's always a removal spell that's up for grabs there, and normally 2 copies. You'll normally find Ultimate Price, sometimes you'll find Tragic Slip, sometimes you'll find Murder. In this particular case, he has a 2 of removal spell, and you have to name it.
Yes. You don't have all night to give us an answer.
Yeah. All right? Because we don't want to be victims of your shenanigans. So if you're able to name that card, tweet the answer to SCG Premium, hashtag SCG Premium, excuse me. We'll draw from one of the winners. We'll give away a full year of SCG Premium for you guys.
Full year.
Woo. Going to the sideboard, I've got Will's deck list in front of me. As far as help is concerned, he has 4 Vampire Nighthawks. Those are coming in. He has 3 Liliana Veil. I think those are going to stay on the board as there's Thalia over there, and Liliana Veil costing 4 mana, not so good. But also, there's just plenty of things from the sacrifice.
Yeah.
So it's never going to really do what you want it to do, where it would against the Mad Hexproof deck. You got 2 Appetite for Brains. Will does have the deck list in front of him, just like we do, so he does know that there are going to be some Thraktos joining us. He also has Huntmaster of the Fells and Restoration Angels, so those could be under consideration. 2 Rakdos Charm, not so much. 2 Bonfire of the Damned, absolutely. And 2 Tragic Slips will be joining us as well. So you've got about at minimum 8 cards that'll probably be joining us, potentially 10 cards from Will's sideboard.
Yeah. Sean has Sigarda, Host of Herons, which not sure he definitely wants this card in this matchup. I mean, I think it's more of a card versus Jund. Might be a little too slow against zombies. Not very good against Thundermaw Hellkite. Definitely bringing in Thragtusk. Probably bringing in Oblivion Ring and Bonfire of the Name as a possibility. I don't think Rancor is very good in this matchup, although
nor do I.
Clearly it's a combination with Celestia Charm.
Hey,
so
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, so you might want to keep that in. Zealous Conscript is an interesting card. It's 5 mana, not ideal, but it can kill Falconrath Aristocrat. And as we know, that's a very, very important card in this matchup. So I wonder whether or not he'll keep those in, or whether or not he'll just swap them for Thragtusk, maybe not wanting too many 5-drops in his deck. Don't think you want to board out the Celestia Charm. You really, again, the flyers are so important, you want to make sure you have a way to kill Thundermaw Hellkite. Might be able to skimp on some of the numbers there because, you're only dealing with 3 Thundermaws, but again, it's important to make sure you can have an answer to those flyers. Looks like Rancor is really the main card I'd want to take out, though. Maybe you can skimp on some Silverblade Paladins. Don't think they're going to be too huge in a matchup full of removal, especially when you're seeing Bonfires and Tragic Slips coming in.
Especially have the information too, since both players have each other's deck list.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say I'd probably take out the Silverblades and the Rancors for Oblivion Ring, Bonfire, and Thragtusks. But we'll see what Sean does.
Both players shuffling up here again. Will Craddock on the left will be on the play for this particular game. And then Sean does have the opportunity, if he does lose this one, to be on the play for Game 3, which is a big deal. Good start for Sean last game as well.
Yeah, good start. Got to smooth out his mana. Didn't have any mana. I haven't seen him have any mana issues at all.
Yeah,
which is
almost
surprising,
certainly none.
But this Naya deck, it does pretty well. I mean, even though you're 3 colors and you're playing 3 off-color lands, it doesn't seem to really run into the kind of mana issues you see with the control decks. Just because I think Cavern of Souls is just so good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wonder if Sean's going to keep in those conscripts or not.
Yeah, and on the draw, I don't love it. On the play, I like it a lot more, and just pushing the aggression. I mean, it is nice that it does deal with Falkenrath Aristocrat. That's a thing.
Well, that's the whole thing. I think it's that it seems crazy that why would you want conscripts against an aggressive matchup? But like we saw it in the first game, the flyers are really all that matter.
Yeah.
So why not just have as many ways to deal with those flyers as possible? I mean, you have conscripts, you have Selesnya Charm for Thundermaw, you have Oblivion Ring. So I think you want to max out on your answers to those flyers because you have plenty of ways to gum up the ground. I mean, I don't think you're losing to Giralf's Messenger.
Yeah, I can't imagine it playing that big of a role.
You're not losing to Diregraph Ghoul. You're not losing to Gravecrawler. Obviously, Knight of Infamy could be an issue, but you have Huntmaster of the Fells. You have Borderland Ranger to block that. So I don't know. I think keeping in the conscripts isn't the worst thing in the world.
Maybe a little outside the box thinking.
Maybe and also if you're able to untap with it, and you have a Restoration Angel. It's really great.
Well, I try not to live in Magic Christmas Land.
Yeah.
Personally, but to each their own. Say hi to Conley for me while you're there.
Gotta dream big.
Yeah.
So we have both players keep. It looks like.
We have no one-drop from
one-drops.
either player. Okay, so that's a bit of a surprise here, as both decks do have 8 one-drops, and we have no 2-drop here from Will either. So this sings to me that we're going to see a Giralf's Messenger on turn 3, and then your Falkenrath Aristocrat, your Hell Riders moving forward. He could have a removal-heavy reactive hand, but I think we're going to see Messenger on turn 3.
Well, I think Will probably boarded in Nighthawks, and I don't think Gravecrawler is that great in this matchup.
Yep, nor do I.
I definitely would have boarded out either my Diregraph Ghoul or Gravecrawler. Even though you're on the play, you're playing against a Naya human decks, all those creatures are probably going to get trumped and outclassed anyway. So I think you just want to load up on removal and have like really durable threats like Giralf's Messenger and Falkenrath Aristocrat and Thundermaw Hellkite.
As we are going to see a Victim of Night here take out the Champion of the Parish. Avacyn Pilgrim, the other play there from Sean.
Nighthawk would be a great drop right here.
You see 3 mana. Does he have a play? I would be very, very surprised if Will did not have one here.
I mean, again, if you think he's got a removal-heavy hand, he could have just kept a removal-heavy hand with 1 or 2 flyers.
No.
And just said, all right, this is how I'm going to win. Oh. The flyers are all that matter anyway, so.
And he does just pass back, so no Messenger, no Nighthawk. You're going to see Huntmaster of the Fells. And this is really playing into Sean's hands here, I think. As he's able to get Huntmaster of the Fells established. Going to gain 2 life. Put the Wolf token into play. We'll see if Will has an answer to this. He does not. He does just take a draw step. Hellrider, a lot worse now.
Yeah, even Aristocrat is a scary play right here because if he doesn't have a Searing Spear, then Sean can just pass the turn and let the Aristocrat die with Huntmaster.
Yep. We'll see what Will decides to name there. Would be a little bit surprised if it's not Zombie. We're going to see a 4-drop, and it is Falkenrath Aristocrat. He does name Devil.
Devil here. So decided not to name Feldergriff this time around. It'll be interesting to see if Will does in fact have the Searing Spear or the second Victim of the Night. Because if he doesn't, then Sean can take a chance and just try to flip his Huntmaster, which I think he has. Yeah, so he does have the Searing Spear.
Yeah, it looked like he stopped him. Yep.
Selesnya Charm here would be huge.
Searing Spear here.
So this is a great sequence because he basically time walked Will, didn't allow him to play any spells.
Yeah.
Sean took a gamble there, and it paid off for Will.
Yeah, really fell in the Wolf's trap there. Now you're going to see Aristocrat come across for 4 more. Going to knock Sean down to 12. Sean is by no means out of this, but he really did fall in the Wolf's trap, and you really have to wonder, you know, when Will does nothing for those opening turns of the game, then plays an Aristocrat, you know, do you really think your Huntmaster is going to work out the way that you want it to in that situation? He had a lot of other cards he could play. He could really just, you know, put more creatures on the board and really could start the race in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, he had a champion Borderland Ranger, so I definitely would have rather just trying to press my advantage. And then he has a Thragtusk too, so it's like you're actually not doing that bad in the race.
Yeah. And he can't come back now. You know, he's not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, he could have just kept adding to his board. And again, as we have seen time and time again, Black Red Zombie is a deck that does not like to be, you know, pressured. It wants to be the aggressor. It can never play the role of a control deck. Because we're going to see Champion of the Parish here. Going to follow that up with an Avacyn's Pilgrim, putting a counter on the Champion, we hope.
And
there it is.
Does he have a Borderland Ranger to go along with this?
And he does have a Borderland Ranger, which he's going to be casting here. Going to put another counter on that Champion. Search out a land. Last card being a Thragtusk.
So, yeah, I mean, pretty good shape, even though he's taken 4 in the air. He's got a lot of creatures on the board. Thundermaw could be an issue, but I think that he could even just be dead on the swingback. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. So, Thundermaw would probably lock up the game for Will. If he's able to top deck it.
I think that card's very, very important right now. Also, keep in mind, there are 2 Bonfire of the Damned in Will's deck list as well. Don't know if he has one in his hand, as he's done a nice job of keeping his hand secure, but could have one on the top of his library, which clears up everything.
Top of the library or a 5th land to hard cast it for 2 would be pretty decent right here. Let's see what it is.
Takes a draw, and he slow rolled that one pretty good.
Yeah. So, doesn't look like anything too amazing right here. Maybe a Bonfire for 1, but that's not really spectacular. So he doesn't have a second Aristocrat or a Thundermaw, which would have been something, he definitely needed that. So
there's your Bonfire for 1.
So he definitely was looking for that 5th land.
Yeah. The attack puts him to 8. The Bonfire damage is going to put Sean down to 1. You might see a tragic slip here. Okay, you'll see Slip take out the Champion. So he's doing a pretty nice job here. The problem here is that Sean's last card is a Thragtusk.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue here now.
So, you know, exactly what you expected. It was a removal heavy hand with a flyer. So, wondering if, you know, clearly he's missing land drops, so he's got a couple of probably gassy spells in his hand still. It looks like is that a Conscript?
I think that is his.
What did I tell you? Look at that. Look at it. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Might still want to play the Thragtusk here.
And that's what you're going to see here. You're going to see an attack you're going to see that attack for 4.
But that Conscripts makes it very difficult for Will to have a chance here.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he top decks a Thundermaw, it's actually terrible for him because he just dies. So,
yeah.
I like that Sean kept in the Conscripts. I'm not gonna lie.
You see Thragtusk bring Sean up to 12. Will takes a draw step. Is it a Bonfire of the Damned? It is not again.
But even still, a Bonfire, you know, it kills his creatures, but Sean still gets a Thragtusk token, and he has that Conscript.
Yep.
So, kills the Aristocrat and attacks for 6, dropping Will to 2. So, again, not many answers that Will can muster here.
And he can't stop attacking, and he knows that. As if he ever stops attacking, he can't win. It's like when the burn deck starts firing away at the creatures, you know you're in pretty good shape. But you see him coming across here.
Oh, takes 2.
He's going to take 2, knock himself down to 6. I think we're going to see Bonfire for 2. Yep, so he just drew them both.
Yeah, and not enough, sadly.
Bonfire for 2. Going to take out the Borderland Ranger and the Wolf token, but what he doesn't know is what we know. And as Sean untaps here, Osip predicting the future from the start. Thought there would be a Zealous Conscripts. It is here, and it is a game winner.
And that is
Sean Thrasher. Naya Humans, your Star City Games Standard Open champion.